Lord, make me fast and accurate. Let my aim be true and my hand faster than those who would seek to destroy me. Grant me victory over my foes and those that wish to do harm to me and mine. Let not my last thought be, if I only had my gun. And Lord, if today is truly the day that you call me home, let me die in a pile of empty brass.
And now, straight from the Law-Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe.
Welcome to the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast, and it's the best podcast because it's my daddy's podcast.
Oh, yeah. What up, Lurch? What up?
What's shaking, my man? Other than your twig and giggleberries.
Always shaking. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. So glad you tuned back in. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority. That's right, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
That's right, we rule. Know that you are the motorcycle majority. So what are you waiting for, freaking Bikeaholics? Mount up already. Let us take you on a ride. That is right, guys. So glad you're here. Of course, this is Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast, also known as your
high-tech redneck.
That is Lurch over there. It's just going to be me and Lurch here in the studio today.
Just the two of us.
That's right. So we're coming off a day here. We've got a lot to talk about, guys. It's kind of nice because we're doing a podcast. We talked about it a little bit here before we hit the record button. It's kind of nice because me and Lurch have been really busy today. It's our day off from our regular jobs, and we are trying to run this LAB, this law-abiding biker thing gig. Matt's getting a good, Lurch is getting a good taste of what everything is about. And we were out a little bit today shooting some video, which we're going to talk about in this episode. Yeah, it's been nice here in our neck of the woods. It's been a really, what should I say, fall as far as warm. It's been a really, what's the word I'm looking for, Lurch? Like a mellow. Yeah.
Sure.
Like a mellow fall, because usually by now here...
It's getting cold.
Well, it's nice, yeah, especially at nights, but here lately it's been an awesome fall, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it was 86 degrees yesterday. I got called out around midnight.
That's right.
Last night or this morning, however you want to look at it, and it was still 70 when I left the house. Gorgeous. That's kind of unheard of for this time of year.
That's what I'm saying.
Get some extra riding in, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. It's usually like 40 degrees in your sweatshirt at night here and whatnot. It's usually still fairly nice days, but yeah, so we're loving it over here, although we didn't get, well, you got to ride over here.
I did.
And tonight we have a Sworn Few Motorcycle Club meeting, our monthly meeting, so I'm going to get to ride to that, so that'll be kind of nice because we've been busting our asses all day. If you guys don't know, Lurch is heavily involved with Law-Abiding Biker Media now. All the guys are, of course, but Lurch is really putting in some extra time to try to help me because I'm way over my head and I can't get everything done.
There's a lot to do. It's been an eye-opener being involved with you and seeing how much you're doing every day.
Yeah, I always told you guys, and I tell Rob and LD and Popeye and Chewy and Oscar and all those guys, and they know that I work really hard at it, and they know I'm putting in, 14-hour days on my days off. But until, I think, Lurch, is it fair to say, until you actually saw, and you've really only been doing it a couple weeks, you've really probably seen about a quarter of it. But still, even with that, what do you think about this email load, dude?
Oh, it's a lot every day. Just tons of emails.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain because we started out, a year and a half ago and we were asking for emails, and now we're just buried.
Well, between the two of us, we can get through them pretty good. Some of them are just people asking questions, and some are giving us content and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of boombox stuff.
Yep. A lot of questions on the boombox, and you're the place to go for that.
Yes. We
don't even look anywhere else. Just go to your high-tech redneck at Law-Abiding Biker. He's got it for you.
I like it. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. So we've got some content for you guys. Let me do a roll down of what we're going to get to today. So first, we want to tell you guys about a new free video we did. It's some LED taillights that we want to talk about. We did it on Oscar's bike, and let's see.
While he watched.
Yes.
Actually, he was doing oil changes on our bike, so we returned the favor and put the LEDs on his.
And videoed it, of course.
Of course.
We're going to talk about the new Harley-Davidson Street. They've got a new category of bikes, which we'll get into. You guys will want to pay attention for that. We've got some tire tips for winter because we just did it today, me and Lurch. We want to talk a little bit about that. And we've got some boombox. There's a new software version, 1.18.1. I want to talk a bit about that. Of course, we've got the usual, donations. And then if we get time, we're going to dive into that email bag. Lurch is going to dive headfirst in the email bag.
I'm not diving into any bag.
You were diving in, dude.
Why is your email bag so hairy? That's what I want to know. I think you need to trim up that email bag.
Yeah, let's do some manscaping.
You need to do a little maintenance on that bag.
I'll tell you, and now that you're answering a lot of the emails, you might see some that you've actually answered, and now we're bringing, it's going to give you a new insight into this. So, guys, we do appreciate your support, and thank you so much, and it's hot up here. It's hot, Lurch.
Yeah,
we need an AC. So
it's hotter than two rats humping in a wool sock.
Oh, totally, man. And you guys know we used to be in my little office. You guys that have followed us since the beginning, all you loyal listeners and friends. So we moved up, a month and a half ago up here, and then Lurch has been spending a lot of time, but it's in the bonus room, and that's our next purchase if we ever get enough money. And that's what we appreciate, all the donations, guys, and the Patreon you heard at the beginning. Man, we could really, it's a sweatshop up here. I feel like I'm running a sweatshop, man.
It's a little more spacious though, so it's a trade-off.
It is. But man, if we can get just a little AC unit up here, oh my God.
I think we just need to hire some hot models with fans to sit there and fan us while we're talking, because we don't want the noise of the electric fans in the background. But if we had lab bikini models, they could just sit there and fan us with the kind of like the back in Roman times when they'd fan you with the fawns or whatever.
I like it.
Big leaves.
Yeah. So there you go. All you bikeaholics out there, you can hook us up on Patreon, and we'll put the money towards some bikini models with fans up here. Maybe they can pour my beer for me and stuff too.
We get a beer assistant.
Dude.
Today we're rolling with Coke.
We are. We're midday. And
I'm sharing a Diet Coke with Buddy.
Yeah. Oh, is Buddy over there?
No, but that's what it says on my can.
Oh, okay.
You know how they put everybody's names on there?
Right.
Mine's generic. Just says, share a Diet Coke with your buddy.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, let's get into some of this content. Let's talk real quick first about this. And Lurch can talk about this too, because he actually did the install. I just recorded it. If you guys don't know, Lurch is our wiring guy. He really is good with the wiring. He's good with soldering. He really gets the wiring and how it goes.
That's what happens when you grow up with the son of an electronics engineer. You learn those things whether you want to or not.
That's right.
He taught me how to solder when I was a very young man.
Probably critiqued your soldering.
Yes. Taught me how to tin the solder, and then so you can connect the two pieces together. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're good. I'll tell you what. Uh-huh. And eventually we're going to do a little video on soldering.
Okay.
Probably when we do handlebars, because we're going to do some handlebars this winter.
Shoot out a free little couple-minute video on how to strip.
Yes.
Tin.
Mm-hmm. And how to solder.
And how to shrink tube. Yeah.
Definitely, because there's a little art to soldering. I'm crappy at it.
Butt connectors are for hacks, man.
Yep. Lurch, even though the kits like our the heated grips we did came, guys, we have that heated grips video, lawabidingbiker.com/Harley heated grips. It's a very popular video for putting heated grips on your Harley. And Lurch, it comes with connectors, and you can do it with connectors, but he refused.
No, I threw them away.
He snipped everything, and he hard soldered it. So
never come apart.
That's why I like you working on my wiring, dude.
Heck yeah.
All right, so we put this new LED taillights, guys, and I did a whole blog on this. They were Harley brand, right? Yeah, they were Harley brand.
Taillight and turn signals.
Let me actually go to that blog and we'll look at it a little bit here. But so, the LED taillights, the stock taillights, guys, on these bikes are not extremely bright. And we've got it's free, an install video. If you just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Harley rear LED lights. Again, /Harley rear LED lights. I'll also link to it in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode this number is, you can get the links in the show notes for this. But we did that video. One of the reasons he wanted to put it on there is because they're so much brighter.
His lovely wife bought them for him to keep him safe.
Yes. And I must say they are a lot brighter.
Oh, yeah.
Man. And just those stock ones, they really aren't. And, as many, we all worry about, we should be when we're writing about being rear-ended. I'm always looking in my mirror when I'm slowing down at intersections. I'm giving myself an out. You all should be doing that. In case somebody looks like they're not going to stop, I can, pull to the left, pull to the right. Anything you can do to get people's attention behind you. I oftentimes flash my brake lights. So I'll actually pump my brake pedals so it flashes, especially if it looks like somebody behind me is an idiot and not paying attention.
Tailgating you.
Mm-hmm. And so those bright LED taillights are really, really helpful. But anyways, they're not that hard to install, especially if you just watch this free video we threw out for you guys.
What's that hand model you got there?
Ooh, look at that.
Hey.
Those are some nice looking hands.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I missed my calling in life. I should have been a hand model.
You should have, really. Well, you're going to be the lab hand model from now on.
Outstanding.
You're a COO, Chief's Operation Officer, and hand model.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure to put that on my business card.
Yeah, perfect, dude. And also on this, if you link to the show notes, guys, if you want to see exactly what we used for these LED taillights, if you're interested in really sparking up the rear of your bike there and making it brighter and all that kind of stuff, it looks like layback LED tail lamp part number. That's what it's called. It's Harley-Davidson brand LED tail lamp part number 678-00357 if you want to write that down. Those are $159.95. And then he also got the bar and shield rear LED turn signals part number 68128-10, also $159. So basically 160 to, what are we looking at?
320.
Yeah, 320 or so plus tax for this little kit. But of course, Harley's going to charge you a couple $100, I'm sure, to install. So save yourself the money and go get this free video, guys.
It was one of the few instructions from Harley that came with the kit that were actually pretty easy to use. They weren't too bad. Mm-hmm. You know how we usually talk about how horrible their directions are? They weren't too bad on that setup for the lights.
Right.
Yeah, they're easy to follow.
Because Harley, we did it on his Ultra Limited, and it's because they haven't really changed those for a long time, so they've kind of got it down, where the heated grips are like always changing, right? Yeah,
the hardest part was just taking the nuts off or bolts out of the turn signals because they're up inside the brackets. They're kind of an awkward place to get them out. So that actually took us the longest just to get those suckers off and back on.
Yeah. And we show you a little trick for that, guys. Mm-hmm. And there's also a tool for it that we talk about on that video. If you want to go down and purchase the specific tool, it'll definitely make that project just a little bit easier. But anyways, anything else to say on that? I did right over there, guys. There is a blog. Obviously, it is the safety issue. They also, these ones don't actually flash. You know what I'm talking about?
When you first hit them, there's some sets that'll flash 4 or 5 times and then
Correct.
Go solid.
Yes, these ones don't.
Right, but they're right. I've rode behind him and other riders, and you can tell his bike. I mean, it's bright.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Just going down the road is bright, and then when he hits the brakes, it really lights up.
Yes, and I'm thinking about. I got to look. I haven't had time. I want to look at a kit for my 2014 Street Glide Special because they are different than the Ultra Limiteds.
Probably be easier and cheaper to do because you just got the 2 bulbs back there.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. So we'll get that to you guys.
Oh, and we'll video it.
Yeah, of course, guys. We will keep helping you out the best we can with all this stuff so that we can all save a bunch of money and not be giving it to dealerships when it's not necessary. All right. Enough about that. Let's move on to one of our main topics here, and that is the Harley-Davidson Street. So Harley-Davidson started in 2015 because they come out in the fall of 2014, all their 15 models. And you guys saw the one I did. I did a video and a blog, a complete overview of the Road Glide. And so me and Lurch also did a overview of this new bike, and the new category that they have for 2015 is called Harley-Davidson Street. So you've got like your Dynas, You've got your touring, right? All that kind of stuff. This is a new class, very, very new for 2015, and it's called Harley-Davidson Street. Within that particular class, they've got two new motorcycles. They've got the Street 750 and the Street 500. Me and Lurch were able to, we wanted to do this for you. I actually didn't even know about these bikes. I was in the dealership and they told me about it, and I was like, that's an interesting little bike. What the heck? And so I decided, you know what? This is kind of an entry-level bike, both the way it's made and the price point. And I thought, you know what? There might be a lot of people interested in this that were never able to get their hands on a Harley before. And I know Lurch has some insight into this too. But I thought it was worth, it's nothing I'm going to ride, but I thought it was worth, I took it out, I rode it, I tested it. And today, fresh off us on location out there, we did a video of it. We really, really looked at this thing, guys. And we're going to release that video free, of course, for you guys. And it will be, I forget, did I do a URL for that? Let me see if I can remember the URL. Did I put it all the way down here? No, I didn't. So anyways, the URL, guys, for that, if you want to go look at this and you want to see the video and you want to see my blog, I give all the specs, and you can just head over to lawabidingbiker.com/street750. Oh yeah, it's right there, Lurch. I did do it. So lawabidingbiker.com/street750. All right. That'll get you straight to the review video. It's a good look if you're, well, let's just leave it at that for right now. And let's head on down here. So what's your, why don't you jump in, Lurch, and tell me, and then I'll roll off that. What do you think about this Street 750? What are some pros and cons? And let's just right. spit it here.
A couple of the pros are it's an affordable bike. I mean, it's at about $8,000, give or take a little bit. And that's a bike that your entry-level Harley rider can afford, or your young rider can afford. You know, maybe you're just starting out riding and you don't want to get a big bike and you're not ready for a big touring bike. It's a good smaller one to start on and get used to riding. And in the end of the day, it's a Harley, so you're already just a little bit cooler.
Right.
So it'll be a good entry-level bike. But for me, it was difficult to ride. It's just a little too small for me. I had a hard time getting my feet up on the pegs and down on the pegs because they were mid-controls and on a already small bike. But I could see it being really good for your young rider, your new rider that wants to have a Harley but just isn't ready to buck up the big money for a big touring bike.
Right. And Lurch is 6'4".
Yeah, on a good day.
Probably, I'm going to say, if you're 6'4", not a bike for you any day of the week, even if you're riding at short distances. That fair, Lurch, or what?
That's fair, because I don't think it's set up to put, you can't put forward controls on it. It's just, there's no mounts up there. So you're kind of stuck with those mid controls. And so I agree, you probably want to be under 6 foot to ride it.
Right. And I'll tell you guys, I'm 5'8", and I could ride this thing, and I did test ride it. I rode it on the city streets. I rode it, I rode it on the freeway. So what I'll say about this particular bike right off the bat is, let's call it a scooter on steroids.
I think it's a little cooler than that, but yeah.
I know, I'm probably downplaying a little bit.
It's got the Harley styling, you know, you got the exposed shocks in the rear, kind of like a wide glide.
So it's got those, it's got so you can see the actual shock springs. They're on the out, they mount to the struts. Really, like Lurch says, a wide glide. So it's got that kind of old school look a little bit.
You know, the front tire's out there a little bit, not...
it's raked just a little bit
more than your average bike of that size. And it's got a pretty good attitude from the front with the Sons of Anarchy fairing on the front and the gator shocks. So it's all blacked out. It's got some styling. I mean, the suggested MSRP on it's $7,500. So it's a good bike. If a guy just wants to own a Harley, I think it's a good one to start with. Right.
I agree. This is a entry-level bike, guys. And at that price point of $7,500, it's really, and the, I forget the, let's look at here. The 500, do we get a price point on the 500? Let's take a look-see here. So $6,800 is the price point on the 500. Now, what Lurch is talking about is the Gator. It's got the rubber boots, kind of like they've done on some of the other, on the front forks. They've got
kind of
those,
like you saw in like the 70s bikes.
Yeah.
You know, or like an off-road type shock cover.
Right.
Yeah, a little more rough looking, a little more attitude.
Those are blacked out. It's got the blacked out forks. Of course, the one we're looking at is black. It's got the blacked out air cleaner. It's got the blacked out exhaust. It's 2-into-1 exhaust out the right side on this, guys. It's got a huge black radiator. Now, I don't know why they need to make the radiator that big for that little engine, but it's got a huge radiator on the front, guys, and it looks, basically, I talked to one of the dealers guys down there, and they said basically this motor, and again, this is what the dealer told me, but it's basically the motor of the Street Rod. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Street Rod?
Yes.
But
yes,
much smaller.
So what I'm thinking is that radiator might be the same.
Right.
Interchangeable parts. Keep a lean production process. Cost less.
Right. Yep. Not a lot of chrome on this bike, so if you're looking for a chrome bike, this isn't the one for you. About the only chrome I see it on is part of the forks and the rear shocks that are exposed. The wheels are blacked out, so it's really it's a tough little bike, and it's a tough looking little bike for a little bike. And it's got, of course, the all too familiar Sons of Anarchy headlight fairing.
Yeah, it's got the Jack's headlight fairing on his, like he has on his Super Glide.
Right. And
although lately he's been riding a Street Glide, so
I know.
God knows what.
A Street Glide special.
Was it a special?
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but
knows?
it looked like it. Now, this thing's pretty gutted down, guys, as far as that goes. You get what you pay for. So let me tell you, I'm not talking bad about this bike. I'm just telling you it is what it is, and you get what you get. To keep it at that price point, they really had to cut down on a lot of stuff. And so you're going to see plastic, just kind of not really finished off plastic for the side covers. The seat is just basic. Of course, you're not going to have a hydraulic clutch. It's all cable. The throttle's cable. It's not throttle by wire. It's got basic rubber grips. I noticed when I was riding out, the signals are all on one side. So on your left control cluster, you've got your signals there where you can do left or right. It's not self-canceling, so you've got to reach up and cancel. It's just got a basic speedometer with an odometer so that you can set trip mileage and things like that. Other than that, it's just really, it does have passenger pegs, and there's a pad so you can have a passenger. Much more comfortable than a sports bike, but you know how far you're going to go, I don't know.
And I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on it, but I think you could probably put a backrest on it.
I bet you can.
I'm looking at the picture you had up there, and it looks like you can, right there, yeah, you can probably mount it on this strut arms.
Yep, just like any other bike. It's got the struts there, guys, for outside the fender that you can put, looks like you can put a docking kit and all that. So let's talk about this motor and my test ride a little bit. So this motor, what was it, Lurch, on how big on the 750?
Wasn't it 46 cubic inch? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And a 30 cubic inch on the 500.
And so what that amounts to, that 30 inch is pretty small, 46 cubic inch on the 750. What that amounts to basically, guys, is the 750 is basically 750 cc. They rated it 749 cc, but let's just call it 750 cc. And of course, the Street 500 is 500 cc. What they're calling this motor is the V-twin Revolution X motor. So there you go. It's a 60-degree V-twin. It's got for all you motorheads out there, it's got a chain-driven single overhead cams, and there's 4 valves per cylinder. It was a quiet running little motor. It was smooth. You had it on too there, Lurch.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet. I would imagine you could probably put some different pipes on it if you wanted to open it up a little bit. But it sounds like it probably should. It sounds like it looks. How's that?
Right, exactly.
I don't know if you want that one to be all ratty and loud. It just probably wouldn't look right.
Right.
The sound wouldn't match the look.
Yeah, I agree.
But a little bit louder might not be too bad.
And so what was so I'm 5'8", guys, and I'll tell you, I got it on the city streets. I can really, really see this bike being used for city commutes. Like I say, you don't want to get a scooter. You want to get... you want to be a little cool. Right. It's a Harley, and it's a good price point, and it's going to run great like a Harley. It's liquid cool. You get a lot of benefits by bumping to, besides a scooter. So I can see a lot of commuters in cities. I can see places for some reason like big cities like San Francisco, which we're in today, running around, or college towns where students want to ride these things. even short commutes on freeways. And I'll tell you guys, I took this bike, I took it out on the freeway. I did this with the 750. I'll tell you, with the 500, just stay off the freeway. You can, but I would stay off the freeway. The 750 seemed to have plenty of spunk to get up on the on-ramp, and a 70 mile per hour freeway. I got up to speed, no problem, much faster than cars, of course, and was able to blend right into traffic. Of course, there's no windshield or anything. It was very surprisingly, I thought for some reason the smaller bike might have some wobble with all that freeway air lurch. It really didn't wobble at all. It was very steady at 70 miles an hour. I had it even over 70 miles an hour. Of course, it'll go faster than that.
Yeah.
But it didn't wobble, but every bit that you're doing 70.
Yeah,
and that's
you can feel it. The bike's working harder.
There you go.
Yeah.
That motor's working. And
the wind's hitting you because you don't have a shield or, a fairing or anything on the front of your bike.
Yes. And the mid controls, you're not stretched out. It's just got your knees are going to be bent and all that. You're not going to be able to stretch out. But, for a 20-minute, 30-minute commute or stop and go in LA, whatever, dude, I think this would be a really good bike, especially stop and go because it's water cooled and all that. It doesn't run very hot at all. I really noticed when I was riding it because we're used to riding the Street Glides right now, which aren't water cooled, and you really get a lot of engine heat. Plus, it's a way bigger motor. I really didn't have a heat problem with this at all. So let's talk about braking. I did some braking on this, and I'll tell you guys, it's really light. Do we have a weight on that anywhere, Lurch? Do you look at that while I'm...
Yeah, I'll look it up while you're chatting.
I will tell you, I think I might have it in here. Maybe I don't. We can look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up while you're talking.
So, so I'll tell you guys, braking, it's a light little bike. The other thing before I get into the braking, the other people I can see this, like you touched on, Lurch, is the person that never has had a bike before or has only had a small bike or a sports bike before, and they want to get into that Harley-Davidson motorcycle and name. Man, you could pass a Department of Licensing test with this really easy. You wouldn't be really sad if you dropped it, just all those things to really get you into the Harley. And if something did happen, you're not, like I say, dropping a $30,000 bike, and you could really get used to maneuvering. Of course, this thing, go ahead.
It's light and nimble. I mean, you can move the thing around very easily.
Oh, there it is, 489 pounds. They both weigh in.
Dude, really? I just did all that work.
Oh, sorry, dude. Well,
put it out there?
I was just going to have you read here. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew I put it in my blog.
I didn't know you had it in there.
So 489 pounds, they both come in at that. So that's a light little bike because our Street Glides dry are like 850.
Yeah.
And then you load them down, you're up, 1,000 pounds with a rider. So really, really light. And that's what I want to say about the braking because it is very, very light, guys. It doesn't have anti-locks. Did you look at those brakes today?
Yeah, there was just one rotor on the front and one on the rear. So
single rotor, single disc brakes, guys, front and back. No anti-lock on this thing. Of course, this is stripped down. And because it's light, I hit the brakes. I did some emergency braking type situations. And boy, that back tire locks up super easy, guys, because it's light. The other thing I didn't like about this bike, again, hopefully you're riding it in slow environments, but at speed and really getting on the brakes, man, you have to mash those brakes. You got to mash that back one and mash. They kind of feel spongy. And that's just the feel of them. You really got to get into them to get that emergency braking. It feels like way too much.
Yeah,
like they're not very reactive.
Yeah, I had to really push the pedal a lot farther than I do on my Street Glide.
So it's got a lot of play before it engages, right?
Yeah, yes.
Fair to say. And
it might just be the way it's adjusted, or I don't know.
Well, it's a brand new bike.
Probably the difference in brakes, just the smaller calipers and
exactly. Yep. It's not it's not the integrated braking system that we have and all that kind of stuff. So be careful with that, guys, for emergency braking type stuff. But it turns great. It corners great. Man, of course, in a small parking lot, you can really maneuver. I'm used to throwing a big old Street Glide around and dragging floorboards. Man, you can turn on a dime on this thing if you know how to ride it, at low speeds and all that. Fuel tank. Did we get a fuel tank on that?
Is it 3 or 3.5?
3.5.
3.5 gallons. Back to the brakes. I think a big thing for us is we're used to our Street Glide brakes. So somebody that's never rode before may not even feel that. And you're gonna after you spend some time on the bike and ride it, you're gonna get used to that set of brakes. So it may not be that big a deal, but it's big for us because we're used to a more responsive brake.
Right. Good point. So this thing, what else do we got? So 3.5 fuel, it's 41 miles per gallon is what they're claiming it gets.
That's pretty good for a small motor because you think it's got to work a little bit harder to move you around, move you and the bike around. But since it's so light, I mean, that's just short of what a touring bike gets, around 42, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
It is. 3.5, 41 miles per gallon. Both of them are, which is weird because the other one's a 30, but that's what they're, or a 30 cubic inch. That's what they're putting it at, 41 miles per gallon. So great gas mileage again for that commute, like we say. And so I was comfortable on it at being 5'8", even with mid controls, but it is definitely not a long distance bike, guys. I think that's self-explanatory. And Lurch, because he's so tall,
I felt like a monkey humping a football.
You look like a monkey humping a football.
It was hard for me to get my feet up on the pegs and back off. Coming to a stop, it was comical because I couldn't unlock my legs because they were up so high.
And we got some video shots of Lurch riding the bike.
Trying to come to a stop.
It was awesome. And me riding it.
Oh, I felt so goofy on it. You probably felt a little bit better because you're tiny.
It's still only because I'm used to the Street Glide, so it felt so small to me and light. But we got some video shots of that, guys. And of course, we're going to do this video. And again, lawabidingbiker.com/street750 will get you to that blog and the video and the specs and the pricing. And of course, we do the walk around the bike in true law-abiding biker video style and show you guys every little part of it. But part of that is we got some photos and we, like I say, recorded me and Lurch coming in so you can see how it looks for a 6'4" guy. Just can't imagine a guy getting that bike, man.
Yeah, you didn't. You looked fine on it when you were coming up. When I was videoing you, I imagine I looked quite goofy.
Well, yeah, you did. It was awesome though. It was fun watching you, dude, and videoing you. Yeah, you definitely looked uncomfortable. Dude, that's exactly it, dude. Like the little circus where they ride the little unicycle around in the cloud.
Little mini bike and stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It had a nice smooth motor. Clutch felt good. Brakes, like I said, were a little spongy, but that just might be our, from us coming off our bikes and expecting a little bit more. But
Right. Yep. So it's got a narrow frame, guys. It's got that low seat, 17-inch front tire. It's got the mag wheels on front, so it's not spoke.
Right.
Again, they're black.
Yep. Looks good.
So with all that, it is a super easy bike to ride. So if you guys are out there and you have friends that want to get into a motorcycle, this would be a great starter bike to get them into. I would recommend it to get them used to it and something they could pass the test on and all that kind of stuff. Or like I say, the college student that doesn't want to get the scooter, wants to be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty comparable to metric style bikes of that size, the Yamahas and whatnot. If you want to, and I don't care. We ride Harleys. We love Harleys, but we're not saying you have to buy a Harley. But if you want a Harley and you want one of that size, I think it's good. I think it's a good bike to get started with.
Right. I agree. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what's your take on why they came out with this new category. There's a reason for all this.
Well, I kind of already had the thought, but talking with the sales manager down there or the general manager down at our local dealership, the idea behind it is to get a bike at a price point that a younger guy or gal can afford, that can get into, that wants a Harley but can't afford a $25,000 Street Glide. And so now they're going to go after that younger market and hopefully get those people to get started on Harleys and get them brand loyal. They just didn't have they didn't have a bike. Even some of the smaller bikes like the the Softails and the Y Glides and the Street Glides, the Fat Bobs, those are all still up around 17, 18.
Right. Right.
So for me, I remember when I was thinking about buying a Harley, at the time I only had a couple of buddies that had them. They were over on the west side of the state. And the guys I rode with over on this side all had sport bikes. And I really wanted to nut up and buy that Harley back when I was in my early 20s. But the thing was $18,000. I went down for $9,000 and bought my Honda VFR and rode it for a while and then regretted not buying the Harley and eventually sold it and bought the Harley. But
right.
Well, I don't know. I guess I just talked myself in a circle and lost track of where I was going.
No, that's right.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you're putting down. No, you're right. And here we've got this is a Sportster, right?
Yeah, that's the
Iron 883.
Yeah.
And it's starting at 84. So these are even cheaper than getting into a Sportster. The Sportster before this was the cheapest you could get into. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Right. And so now you can get into for cheaper, a bit cheaper.
And it's actually it's bigger than that Iron 883, the Street 750. It's got a little more rake in the front, bigger fender in the rear end, and a little bit. See,
Yeah, right.
just a little bit bigger.
It is. It looks a little bulkier,
Right.
And it's water cooled, which is huge. Yeah, so take a look at it, and I'm going to be curious if this bike continues on down the road.
We'll see.
With years to come, in the coming years, I should say. Yeah, I agree. Brand loyal, and that's a good thing that you put in there. I really think it's Harley's attempt to have that water cooled, and they want to get. I know, dude. It's so weird to me, but they want to get this little Sons of Anarchy thing going with these little headlight fairings. So you're going to have a lot of people that are watching these TV shows that all of a sudden want a bike, and this can get them in them. If Harley can lock those people in, that they're going to upgrade from there.
Oh, for sure. And there hasn't been too many bikes that they've come out with that didn't succeed. There's only a couple, like the Rocker.
Rocker
that was only out for a couple of years, and that's a neat looking bike. We
just
got
1 year, I think.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2. But we got a buddy that has one. It's a cool looking bike. It just didn't take on.
Yep.
What else? Has there been a couple other ones? Oh, it's my opinion, but the V-Rod,
right,
or Street Rod, they were kind of cool for a couple of years, but they kind of fizzled out. But for the most part,
they're still making the V-Rod though.
Unfortunately,
right? Yeah, they are. So sorry, you V-Rod riders out there.
Personal preference,
exactly. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to wrap that in, like you say, get people brand loyal. Good price point.
Yeah.
They can get it into, because a lot of, you see now, and we've talked about this, I think in the past, you see all over people riding scooters now.
Well, yeah, with the cost of fuel,
Yes.
people are looking at alternative measures for transportation, and the person that's just riding, or driving 20 miles to work and back thinks, well, why not? Why won't I get a bike? These are people that never thought about riding a motorcycle before in the past. They didn't want a bike because they love motorcycles, but thought they're cool. They're buying them because they're a alternate means of transportation that's more cost effective than their cars.
Well said. And Harley's going to tap into that market.
Yeah.
They've got to.
It's their scooter.
Right, thank you.
As you said earlier, it's their scooter.
It's their scooter on steroids, and
it's a lot cooler than a scooter.
I'm telling you, when I was starting, I would have started on a bike like this.
Oh, for sure.
It's cool looking.
Yeah.
It's not bad looking.
No.
The only thing we didn't mention, it's got that intake, the air intake, and it's nice because it's kind of a forced induction, kind of like my Street Glide. It's got the just the opening in the front, so the air really forces up in that intake. And there's some, it's funny because I see some different websites and stuff, and that's cool. They're putting this thing on a dyno and stuff. I guess, do you really care what this dyno's at?
No.
It is what it is,
no,
guys.
If you're buying it, you know what you're getting.
Thank you.
I don't see people doing a lot of customizing on this one. It's just entry level, something for them to ride. Maybe some foot pegs, maybe grips. I don't even know what there's available for exhaust on that thing, but I don't see a lot of changing. I don't see people putting apes on them and all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
Do you?
Nope.
No, I don't think that type of person's going to buy this bike.
Exactly. And if you're going to dump money in apes, you're going to get a better foundation than that to start with. I'm
Right.
sure somebody will chop it eventually, but do something. But yeah. All right. Anything else to say? It's pretty quiet, guys. It not real loud. So again, great for college and neighbors and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure somebody will pipe it out eventually.
Short commutes.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, guys. So there you go. Before we leave that, anything else, Lurch?
No.
Let's do a big old thanks. You want to do this?
Yes, we'd like to thank a new patron of the Patreon. That's Charles Penner of Calgary, Alberta.
Charles Penner, thank you so much. He has been very involved. If you guys, there are some benefits to becoming a patron. You can pledge a certain amount, less than a coffee a month. You can help us out. You can help us, maybe if we're lucky, get a fan up here. Just a fan would be great because we're sweating.
Otherwise, I'm going to start bucking down to my boxers, and you're going to have to look at that.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a video podcast, and you have to look at Lurch, the whole thing.
Give me a few months. I need to get in shape before we do that.
Yeah. So, Charles Penner, thank you, of Calgary, Alberta. And you guys, you get, if you pledge a certain amount over there, again, no risk. You can put a cap on it. So just $1 or $2, per episode. But you get in that, we've got a really good private Facebook group going on. The only people that get in that Facebook group are people over on Patreon that pledge a certain amount. We're going to get some t-shirts out to people. We're going to do a whole bunch of cool stuff. But that private Facebook group is going really good. We have a lot of conversations that only are on that private Facebook group that nobody sees. We help each other. I put out, in time, I'm going to put out some free stuff for you guys. So anyways, enough said about that. If you want to get hooked up, where do they head?
/Patreon.
There you go, lawabidingbikers.com/Patreon. And you can get all the details over there, guys. But we really, really thank those patrons that are over there. And what did we say last episode? It really helps us because me and Lurch are trying to run this thing. And Lurch knows there's a ton of operating costs. There really is, guys.
Oh, yeah, it costs us just to upload this podcast.
Yeah, forget the hours. Yeah, just to upload the audio and the website.
Servers and blah, 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 and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, to provide quality content, you can't do it cheaply. I mean, if you want something that people want to enjoy, you got to put a little money into it. And, we're not looking to get rich here, but we'd like to at least make enough money that we can keep it going.
Right. Well said. Put a little fuel in the lab gas tank so we can keep on taking this thing down the road for you guys, because I know y'all like it. So that really helps us with Patreon, because over there, and of course we take donation. We love that too, guys. But Patreon is kind of something we can look at and say, okay.
Gives us a structure.
It gives us a structure and say, okay, we have this much coming in per episode and we can pay this bill and this bill. We are still obviously doing this because we love it, guys, because it ain't because we're making money, because we would just put it in a bag right now. We do it because we really want to get it out to you guys. So thanks for all the help. Enough said about that. Let's talk about tires in the winter. We just did this today. So Lurch and I just happened to be out. We shot the video down at, and I want to do a shout out to Owens Cycle in Yakima, Washington. Owens Harley-Davidson. They're really, really good to us, allowing us to review these bikes and stuff. And of course, we're sending sales their way. So I think it's a good little trade there.
It's a quid pro quo situation.
Quid pro quo. There you go.
A little this for that, tit for tat.
Mm-hmm. So we stopped by the auto parts store because I needed some oil for my truck because it leaks. My old Dodge Ram pickup. And I've been looking for a while, guys, for a tire gauge. And I have a lot of tire gauges, but if you guys all know on motorcycles, not just Harleys, but all motorcycles, it's hard to get the valve stem to where you can get at it and you can put a gauge on there to where you can read it with
Plus
all the...
you got your grubby little fingers in there. And I mean, it's not easy.
No. With the disc brakes on there.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. And of course, what was funny, dude, both of us had our bikes parked in my garage. Let's test this new gauge. And happens every time. Both of our valve stems were both straight up to where we couldn't get to them.
Yeah.
You couldn't have parked any better to have both rear and front valve stems to where we couldn't get to them.
And not just on one bike, on two bikes, all four tires. We had to move the bikes around to get to the stems.
Ugh, annoying.
What's the chances of that?
So we had to roll our bikes around. Now this Lurch was just looking around, and I told him while we're there, I go, you know what? Every store I come to, dude, I look for a tire gauge, that you can. So the tire gauge we're talking about, let me explain it to what I'm looking for, guys. So I'm looking for either a regular, with the dial on it, or a digital's fine that does a digital readout. And then it's got a hose connected to it, and then a very little tiny valve stem attachment. So basically I can get that hose and that little tube up in there. I can put it around the valve stem, but I can have the gauge outside the wheel towards me so I can actually see what it's reading. Did I paint that picture okay?
You painted it like Picasso.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And so with that,
kind of
guys,
a special Picasso, but a Picasso nonetheless.
That's about as artistic as I can verbalize things I cannot draw. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not a drawer. Stick figures, that's about it. But I can definitely verbalize things to you guys. And Lurch happened, so I told him what I was looking for. And now I know, guys, everybody's like, well, everybody makes those. Okay, yeah, but they're super expensive. Like Harley-Davidson makes one, and they're super expensive. And I don't want to buy a Harley-Davidson one just because it has a Harley logo on it. There are some other companies that make them. I know that. And they're kind of nice because I have another one that I didn't realize. I'm such an idiot. I think maybe somebody got that for me for a gift. I can't remember. But it's an off brand. It's not a Harley. But it's got that hose. It's got the small chuck. But it's not digital, which is fine. But it's got the extra nice little thing where it's got a little... Yes.
So you can let some air out.
So when you put too much, you can let a little bit out. Now, this one we found today, I just want to throw it out there to you guys. Lurch found these. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, it's made by Slime. Those are the guys that make that tire goo you can put in there for fix-a-flat and whatnot.
That green goo slime.
Goo. So it's called Slime. It's a digital tire gauge, and it's about the size of a Copenhagen can. And the hose actually has an inset in it. The hose wraps around and clicks into
That's kind of nice.
the can. Yeah, so it's this nice little puck.
It looks like a little
Hockey puck.
yo-yo.
Yeah, it's like a yo-yo looking thing. You're right. Yo-yo, very good.
Yeah.
And it goes 0 to 120 PSI. It's digital. You has one button you push to turn on the device, and then it's got the hose. Was it 6 inches of hose?
Yeah, fair.
Yep, that's what it says on the package I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
6 inches, and you can get in there and put it on your tire stem and get a accurate reading because it's digital. You get it down to the tenths of a pound, and it was only like $12.99. So it was a great little gauge there, and you could throw it in your saddlebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the part number on that? Because I can't see from here.
Oh, let's see.
Digital.
Oh, so Slime, yeah, digital tire gauge, and it's part number 20187 is what that's what it is. Yep, 20187. And I'll link to this, guys, in the show notes. And actually, Lurch, while we're here, let's just look on Amazon and see if it's on there real quick. So in the show notes, guys, I'll actually put a picture of it, and I'll actually link to it if you want to purchase it, and I'll actually put it through our Amazon affiliate. So, of course, no extra cost to you. We get a small little kickback if you do purchase it, guys. And we have tested it. It works great, and I'm going to keep it in my saddlebag. It's super small. We just happened to come across it. I don't even know anything about it. I didn't know Slime even made these. So it's kind of one of those purchases that we purchased, and in fact, Lurch liked it so much because I'm getting one for my saddlebag.
Yep, I bought myself one too.
Now I have the other one. That's the big,
right,
and it's more industrial, but I don't want to carry that in my saddlebag, guys. This one, like Lurch says, it wraps up like a little yo-yo. And so it's like the size of a yo-yo, and it fits in your saddlebag. And we did our tires today, and it works really good. I
like the fact that it's digital. You can get right on the money with it. Very accurate. And
what kind of battery did it take?
CR 2032. Yeah, the similar one that would go in your garage door openers. You can buy many parts.
But it comes with it.
Yeah, it comes with the battery. But you can go to any AutoZone, Shocks, whatever you got in your neck of the woods, auto parts store, and get those batteries. And I think it was $12.99, but out the door, taxes and whatnot, it was between $14 and $15. And I see we found it on Amazon here for $14. Is that 03?
Yep.
So $14. It's cheap. It's little. It's worth it.
Yep. So I'll link to it, guys, in the show notes and the lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode this number is. I'll show you a picture of it if you're interested. We like it. It's a good little deal. It won't break the bank, and something you should have. You want to talk about today what we found out about our tires and stuff end of season here?
Yeah, one thing I didn't mention about it. It's got a button to turn it on, and it auto shuts off after a few seconds, so it won't. Your batteries won't go dead. Well, it's that time of the year where the season's changing and it's not as warm out outside. So I haven't checked mine for a while. I usually check mine at the beginning of the season, middle of the season, and then the end of the season, just to make sure I'm keeping my tire pressures correct. Because your bike will ride a lot better with the proper tire pressure in it. It'll corner better, and your tires will last longer. You won't run them out in the middle. So what we found is both of ours are about 5 PSI low, and that could be a combination of the weather, being cooler outside, and just riding. My experience is bike tires don't quite hold their pressure as long as a car tire, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the design of the wheel or whatnot, but I would definitely recommend that as the seasons change and it's getting a little cooler outside, you make sure you check that pressure, especially if you haven't done it in a while. Again, your bike will run better, you corner better, and you'll get better fuel economy, and your tires will last longer.
Well said. Both of ours were 5 PSI low, front and back. My front's supposed to be 36 and my back's supposed to be 40. Yeah, guys, it's easy, especially now. There you go. And we found that little tire gauge. So if you get one of those, it makes it a lot easier. It's just a pain to get up there, especially Harleys, the touring models and stuff. The Wide Glide was a little easier, but you've got bags and you've got the dual, or at least the disc brakes and the calipers and the belt. And it's just, you got to get it just right. But it's a nice little deal. We just wanted to tell you guys about that. We got no affiliation with them at all, but there you go. Also, I want to mention, guys, if you ever forget, to go to the show notes or whatever, anytime you want to help us, we do have an affiliate with Amazon. We get no additional cost to you. We do get a small kickback. If you ever want to do that, guys, and you forget, just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. And actually, if you want to do that, you can just bookmark it. You can just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. As soon as it comes up and you see Amazon, just bookmark that as your Amazon page, and you won't even know it. But from then on, behind the scenes, if you ever buy something from Amazon, anything, you're using our affiliate link, and it gives us a small kickback. You can do that with any of our affiliate links. lawabidingbiker.com/B&H, and then you can just bookmark it in your browser and call it B&H. But every time you're hitting it, Does that make sense, Lurch?
Sure does.
Every time you're hitting it in the background, little do you know, you're helping law-abiding biker. There's just small ways that you can help us, guys. All right, we're nearing an hour. Do you want to cover, let's talk about this. I don't think we're going to have time to get into the email bag. But
we got about 10 minutes or so.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the boom box system update version.
That's your deal. You hit it.
Well, you've been answering a lot of emails, so I don't think that you're completely clueless to this now.
I'm educating myself and I'm learning, but you're still the guy to go. You're the go-to guy.
The go-to. So on August 27th, guys, I'm going to rip through this. I know a lot of you don't have the boombox, so of course, fast forward if you want, but this is super important information. The boombox system update version 1.18.1 is the newest. Everybody knows there's viruses, there's bugs in the boombox system. Doesn't matter which version, but there are bugs, there are viruses. Harley-Davidson is running, along with Harman Kardon, who makes that system. They're all running like chickens with their heads cut off. Lurch can attest that I get tons of emails a day with frustrated people, not with us, but with the system. Now, we teach people how to use this system, but we don't control the software and the viruses.
No, next time they need to go with Apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Apple, yeah, I like it.
Go with
Harley, Apple. Yeah, they should have, no doubt. So this new 1.18.1 is the newest, guys. I'm getting a lot of stuff. I'm telling you guys right now, if you don't upgrade to it, don't right now. Because what happened is they came out with version 1.18.1 for the update. Just like your smartphone, guys, the system needs to be updated. Just like a computer or smartphone. They came out with a new update and they caused a whole bunch more problems. So all of a sudden, guys are emailing and they're Twittering and all that kind of stuff. And they're saying, hey, 1.18.1 screwed it up. Okay, well, there is a way to flash back, but it's complicated to the earlier version. Sit on it right now, guys, and wait. The other thing is that as soon as they put it up and realized it was causing problems, they took it down. And so you can't even update to 1.18.1. You can't do anything right now. Harley has that down, guys, and guys email me daily about it. It's down because they're not telling anybody. Of course, I know all this just because I'm in touch with some different sources and stuff, but it's down because they know it was screwing up and they don't want people to download it. And they don't know what to do right now. They're feverishly working on a new update. I guarantee that'll be better than 1.8.1. And hopefully it will fix not only the prior problems, but the problems in the newer version. There you go. Clear as mud.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know if I'm not making sense.
No, it makes sense. I don't even have one, but I got it.
Okay.
Don't update. Just stay where you're at for now.
Stay, because the worst you can do is have more problems, or the best you can do is have more problems,
more updates, more problems.
Yes. I will tell you guys, I made a link for you guys that you can check. And of course, make sure you get on the email club, the free email list, lawabidingbiker.com/email club. It only takes you about 30 seconds to sign up. I'm sending out as major developments happen with the boombox, guys. I'm sending when software updates are available on whether to update or not. I try to really, really keep up on this stuff. I created another link for you guys that will take you straight to, because it's really hard to find on Harley's site, believe it or not, Matt, to even find the page where you can get the download to update.
They don't have a button on the front page or anywhere?
No, nothing, dude. Nothing. So I found it for you guys. So anytime you guys want to find that page, just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Harley software. That's it. lawabidingbiker.com/Harley software. That will redirect you directly to Harley's page. You can look if the downloads are available. You can look at what the latest download is. I don't have any control over that, guys, but I wanted to at least make an easy link for you because you'll have trouble finding it on Harley's site. I will send an email as soon as that's back up. As of the day we're recording this podcast, it is not back up. So just sit on it, guys, right now. I know a lot of you are frustrated out there. Of course, my videos, you can get all of them over at lawabidingbiker.com/Harley Boombox. It has the complete series there. There's a video telling you what each one will teach you. They're extremely useful, especially because you'll learn how to use the system and you'll know how to update your software, which is going to be critical to get rid of these bugs over time, guys. So people love the videos. They're definitely just calling me and emailing me and Lurch for help on this thing, because a lot of them don't realize. They're like, why isn't my Zoom and my map working? Do you have a video to tell us how to do that? And I have to tell them, well, my video will show you how to use that when it works, but I can't fix that for you because it's a bug in the system right now. All right. Anything else on that, Lurch? I don't want to get too deep because not everybody has a boombox, but just know main points are get on the email list, guys. Go over, get the videos. At least you'll know how to completely use the system, how to update your software, what it's capable of when it's working, because eventually it will work in its entirety, I should say. All right, let's. We have time to dive in the email bag? We're right at an hour. Do you want to?
You want to do one, or do you want to do donations? What do you want to do there?
Oh,
you tell me. You're the boss.
Yeah, let's throw out this real quick. I also wrote a blog, guys, if you want to see all about the software update. And there's a video over there at lawabidingbiker.com/boombox software update 1181. I'll have it in the show notes because I know you won't remember that. All right, yeah, let's donations. All these guys helping us. I love it, man. Who do we got?
Oh, we got a couple of guys. What is that name? Rosalette, I think. Mark Rosalette of Hillier, Ohio. Thank you, Mark, very much. And we have Eric Imkin of Midland, Texas. Football town, Midland, Texas. Thank you, Mark and Eric, for your donations. Appreciate it. It puts a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank and keeps the motor running down the road. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's humbling to think that people are helping us out like that. So thank you very much. We're honored.
It is very, very helpful, guys. And if you want to help us out, in that way, lawabidingbiker.com/donate. And we're working towards a fan. That's what we're going to say. It's our fan fund. No, we've got a fan up here, guys. The problem is if you guys don't know, we can't run the fans while we're recording because it would cause way too much background noise and this audio would sound like crap, which me and Lurch are really proud of how the audio has been sounding because Lurch is doing a lot of the audio editing now, and we're putting a little secret sauce on it.
Oh, yeah. I learned how to throw the secret sauce on it. How to spread my sauce all over the video or audio.
Dude, no. Yeah, we can't. We're not going there. Okay. That's not the one I wanted. This is what I wanted. There you go. So he's learning, but we're proud of that. But obviously, we're not going to turn fans on in the background. But as soon as we're done here, we're kicking the fan. Actually, we're getting out of this room for a little bit.
We're going to go ride. We're going to go to a meeting.
Yes, absolutely. All right. With that said, we got time for, let's do one email. And why don't you go with this one because you handled this email.
Mark Holmes of Ontario, Canada sent us an email. Here's what he said. Hi. Came across your site when searching out a question about the above bike. I'm a new rider and looking at buying my first bike. I'm 6'1", 245 pounds, and have been told to start on something in the 500cc range. Was actually looking for a Kawasaki Vulcan 500, but my daughter said to me, Dad, if you really end up liking it, go bigger from the start. I mulled this over after thinking of another friend that essentially did the same thing, but he just went out and bought a 1600cc from the get-go. I don't think I want to go that big, but would a 900cc be a good purchase to start with?
The Vulcan 500, that's a good old bike, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of in that class with the Street 750.
Right.
If you look, I think if you pull it up, a picture of it, you'll look at it. It's actually somewhat similar in look.
There you go. Right there.
Yeah, a little more. The Vulcan's got a little more of a classic motorcycle style, but yeah, about the same size.
They're trying to kind of look like the Softail / Dyna.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking Harley there. But yeah, it's a good old bike.
Good looking bike, classic style. So he, what else did he say here? Yeah, he also wanted to know if we had any maintenance videos.
He wants to know if we have any metric maintenance video, guys. Those are coming. Just please hang with us, guys. We're so busy. Like today, we just filmed another. We just simply, and Matt's trying to help me as much as he can here. So it's our plans for this law-abiding biker mission here to do that. So just bear with us.
We've got a few buddies that have metric bikes, and I think what we need to do is just tell them we'll service their bike if they let us video it.
That's what I told them. We're going to do the Victory, guys. We're going to do the Victory too. That's another American made. But
how about the Yamaha?
The Yamaha. Oh yeah, we could do his Yamaha Virago.
Oh yeah, the old Virago. We'll do a few of them. We're working on it. I know we're awfully Harley centric, but we'll try to spread our wings.
Definitely.
So here's my response to him. I said, thank you for sending your question. You're a good-sized guy, and you will quickly outgrow a 500cc bike. I think you're right. The 900cc Vulcan will be a better fit for you. I bet you can ride that bike for a long time. My internet research showed favorable results for the Vulcan 900. It's a good-looking bike, and it sounds like you have a line on a good one. He was talking about somebody that's selling one.
Oh, okay.
I said, nothing beats getting out on the road and getting your knees in the breeze.
Knees in the breeze, buddy.
And we recovered it by said we don't have metric maintenance at this time, but we're working on it. And I said, send in a picture. So if you do buy that bike, Mark, make sure you send us in a picture of you and that bike. We'll
Yeah.
put it up on the page.
Roger that. That would be great. Yeah, it's a good looking bike.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them around.
It's got classic style. It kind of, somewhere in between wide glide and soft tail looking bike. Yeah.
Right.
I like the style of it. I'm cool with it.
Now, what year did he say? Did he say what year?
I don't think he said in his email. He just,
okay.
He was thinking about 500, but he's got a line on a 900 and he's just worried that it might not, might be too big. But if somewhere the 500 is definitely going to be too small for him. He's worried about a 1600 being too big. I think 900 is good.
That email fits good with what we talked about today, didn't it?
Yeah.
Between the plus, but that bike it's pretty small.
Yeah.
For it's got mid pegs. It's like what we just talked, the Harley-Davidson Street. Let's pull it up here.
It's a little far. No, they're a little farther forward.
Oh, you're right.
The foot pegs are just back off the frame just a little bit. And, yeah, I think that'll be quite fine for him. A 900 is going to have enough power. He can push them bars forward a little bit if he needs.
Right.
I think, and I haven't sat on one. I'm 6'4", mostly legs, so I don't know if it'd be big enough for me, but it looks like it'd be more comfortable than the Street.
Now, did he say he's just getting into a bike? Is that what he said?
He's looking at his first time, first bike. So he was looking at 500, but as his daughter said, going to outgrow that thing if you like it. So go in the middle, go with the 900. I think you'll be able to buy it, ride it, get comfortable riding, and have it for quite a long time before you step up to something bigger if you choose.
Right. You're a big boy.
Oh yeah.
6'1", 245. That's a small bike for you. Even the 750, right? Is that what it is, or a 900? No, a 900. How much bigger is that? You think that frame's a whole bunch bigger on that 900?
Oh, I'm sure it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So good starter bike though. And especially if he's just running around town, right?
Yeah, it'll be a good one. That would be.
Commuting.
I mean, that's similar to like our wide glides we started out with.
Yeah, true. And you're right. It does have a little bit more forward controls than the mid controls, so that'll be nice for
it'll be good
for him.
Be good for running around town, short trips, maybe a little weekend trip, not too far away. And if he loves riding, wants to hit the open road and really get going, then he can step up to some type of touring bike.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. And if you want to contact us, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave us a voicemail there. You can leave us an email. If you want to call us on the listener hotline, 509-731-3548. 509-731-3548. We love the voicemails, guys. We love any contact, but of course the voicemails take priority, as you guys know. Do we have time? You want to cover one more and take it out of here?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it, because this is a good one, because we talked about tires and the weather's starting to get cold. You guys should start really thinking about heated grips at this time of year. We're getting a lot more interest in our heated grips video. If you want to check that video out, lawabidingbiker.com/Harley heated grips. Shoot from the hip here.
So this one's from Andy Havener of Fort Worth, Texas.
Shout out Texas.
How cold does it get in Texas? Must get cool enough in the evenings.
Right.
So his subject is heated grip install video. Here's what he had to say. I just bought your video on heated grip install and it's worth every penny. Although your video is on a 2014, my bike is a 2013 FLHTCU, but many things are the same except in the fuse box area. Also, your update in Lurch's 2008, when you talk about where to wire that plug, the plug is hot already. He's just giving us some information. That plug that we showed you in the update, it's hot already. And it makes for easy hookup to the red wire from the heated grip. All in all, thanks again, and I'll be watching you in the future.
Shout out, Andy. Thanks so much. And what he's talking about is in that heated grip video, if you guys purchase it and you want to do your own grips, which we strongly suggest, you'll save yourself a ton of money. You can do it. Any touring model, it doesn't matter. They're all just a little bit different how they're built, but I telling you, and that's what he's saying. This is like the third email I've got like this. He's like, you know what? Your video covers enough that anybody can do it on any bike.
That's
it's
good
just
to know. Cool.
It's just a little bit different where you hook the wire here or here, but we show enough that you'll have no problem doing your heated grips, and that's what he's kind of getting at here. Because they did change through the years kind of on the kits and stuff, but we really, Lurch helped me film that
Get the
video.
nuts and bolts from it.
Exactly. And we followed up. Any new bike we touch, guys, like that one. So like we did it on my 2014 Street Glide, but then what I did, we went out and filmed your 2008. Remember that?
Right.
And I said, okay, if you have a 2008, here's where you plug that plug in instead. And I sent that to everybody that's already purchased the video.
Get that for free.
Exactly. You get that for free. And any people that have already purchased it or new purchasers get that either way. So we're always doing updates. And so as we get new bikes, we're always going to film, okay, guys, everything's the same except you plug it in here. And we stay right on top of that stuff for you guys. And the community stays on top of it. Of course, we get emails back like him that says, hey, the only thing that's different is a fuse box. And so when we get our hands on that bike, we can definitely do a little video and go, okay, just plug it in here instead. Although you could figure it out, most people, we still like to be very, very thorough. Anything else on the heated grip? I love my heated grips, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about it. I've been teasing you guys, calling you weenies.
Oh, yeah, we all tease each other.
I may have to think about that in the future.
Oh, it's so
It'd be nice to ride with thinner gloves, turn those on so your hands stay warm, but not have some big old bulky gloves on.
Yep.
Because right now my winter gloves are big old monster mitts, and they keep me warm, but it would be nice to be able to wear a thinner glove, but yet still have warm hands.
Right. Very, very well said. And that's exactly what it is. I'll never go without them again, man. Even in the summer, it gets down, 60, 55 at night. Dude, it's so nice just to be able to kick them on and kind of goes up your arms into your core. And then I got my heated seat, dude. Oh, love it. I'm an old man.
And you can find that at /Harley Heated Grips.
Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. We get a lot of questions on that, a lot of emails. I know you've seen some of those. So yeah, there you go, guys. Now's a good time to get those heated grips on if you're going to do it. Again, don't pay the dealer. We can do it for you. All right. We are a little bit over an hour. We packed a lot into that episode. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Don't forget, Lurch, we're doing all those Sons of Anarchy. He knows very well because we've been busy with those. Check out the Sons in between all our regular episodes. All right. Call to action, guys. New Lab podcast app. A lot of you know about it. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/app and you can get that app. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Android and all that kind of stuff. That's where you want to go, lawabidingbiker.com/app. The direct links are there on how you can get that. Reason you get the app, I kick out everything early. You get it there before you get it in iTunes, before you get it in Stitcher or anything like that. You get it early. Also, we're going to start putting some premium content, some extra little things, and a little, I don't know what we're going to do with that.
Little nuggets, little something that's special for you.
Little nuggets. You get all the show notes right there. You can hit the little phone icon and you can call right from the app. It takes you right and says, do you want to call? Yeah, you can get really involved that way. Don't forget, guys, of course, use our Amazon and bookmark that, guys, lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon. Anything you buy there will help us, or B&H /B&H, same thing, guys. You want to get a hold of us, listener hotline 509-731-3548, or leave a voicemail right from your computer, guys. All you guys listening from around the world, shout out. We know all the different countries you guys are listening from. We really appreciate that. I know you don't want to call because it's like a huge bill, or you may not have the capability. You can do it right from your computer, built-in microphone, lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. You guys are awesome. If you want to help us and you just don't have the money to help us right now, you can help us by simply doing something free, and that's rating us in iTunes. lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes, or in Stitcher Radio, lawabidingbiker.com/Stitcher Radio. All right, freaking bikeaholics, what are you waiting for?
Get out there and ride.
That's right. Get out there and freaking ride, huh? Keep the rubber side down.
And the shiny side up.
Peace out. Thanks, Lurch, for being here.
Glad to be here.